Thank you guys so much for taking the time to come out in this zombie apocalypse type weather that we've been having the last couple of days. I really respect you guys for just taking extra time out of your day to join the Lifelong Learner Club and to make deposits back into the self, as I like to call it. So, financial self-care, right? We're entering holiday season. This is important year-round, but it's especially tested this time of year. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Eva. As you guys know, I'm Jaelyn, but you guys can go ahead and call me Jay. I am a clinical and certified financial therapist. I work in the clinical mental health field, and then I also operate my own financial therapy practice, Dimensional Wealth. I have a background in banking, eating disorders, and consumerism psychology. And all of those experiences have driven me to help you transform your relationship with food, finance, and retail. The time that I spent working in eating disorder care and in banking taught me that there are two things we interact with daily, can't live without, and often struggle with the most, and that's food and money. And here we are during the holiday season. We're just recovering from receiving SNAP benefits back and different things happening in our economy that are impacting our food and money. And it's a really important time of year to make sure that we're caring for ourselves as best we can in regards to our capacity. A few fun facts about me, because I try not to talk at people. I try to have a conversation with you guys and let you know a little bit about me. I'm a major plant mom. I have plants all over my house and my office. I am a not so casual chess lover. I love chess. I come to chess club here at the library as well. And I'm forever on the hunt for the best matcha latte. I'm a big tea drinker myself. If anyone knows of any good places for matcha in Champaign, please let me know. Quick FAQ, I wanted to add this to the presentation because a lot of people have not heard of financial therapists, right? We've heard of traditional therapists, maybe financial planners, but what in the world is financial therapy? Well, financial therapy focuses on the emotions, beliefs, and behaviors about money. Emotions are innate to the human experience. They drive every single one of our decisions, whether we like it or not, and money is a decision that we have to interact with all the time. So the work that I do is I help clients alleviate money stress, enhance their communication and their relationships. There's a ton of strain around communicating about money, especially in marriage and families. And overall, just help you heal your relationship with money. So many of us aren't sure why we make the decisions that we do out of impulsivity, and turns out there's roots in childhood, there's roots from different experiences that we have had that contribute heavily to our financial state and overall generational wealth. And then there's also the financial coaching side. Financial therapy and financial coaching are two services that I offer at my business. Financial therapists have a mental health background and are trauma-informed in regards to working with money and the mind. And then financial coaches have a finance background. So those are your accredited financial counselors, certified financial planners. If you see this little box in the middle, financial therapy, money mindset, financial coaching, money management, to sum it up for you. Okay, so here we are with story time. I wanted to share with you guys a recent experience that I had with a client. We'll call her Christina. I met with her last week during our session, and she had a different energy about her, right? One of the first questions I ask clients, friends, family is, how's your energy? Rather than how are you? The how are yous get the generic, right, robotic response of I'm good. We're almost automated just to say I'm good or I'm fine. But I ask, how's your energy? Because it creates a moment of pause. And it gives you a lot of insight in regards to where a person really is at. And so, sat down with Christina. She came into session, and I asked her, how's your energy? And I just saw her just sink into her chair for a moment. The holidays came up. I'm gonna go see family. Oh, I'm gonna go see family. Oh, I'm so excited for gifts. How am I gonna afford those gifts? Oh, I'm doing a Friendsgiving. Oh, how am I gonna find time to do all that cooking? How am I gonna find time to get all those groceries? Right? Does it sound familiar, the internal conflict of the holidays? Part of the reason why everyone's here is education, learning, investing in yourselves. There's a term called multiplicity of the mind, and what that means is feeling two different ways at once. It's that internal battle that's going on with our interactions, our decisions, our emotions. It's a big part of the holidays, right? So the problem, and even I attest to this, one of the things that I'm sure to disclaim is that just because I'm a therapist doesn't mean that I have it all together, or that I don't struggle with comparison culture or wanting to make things perfect, especially the perfect holiday experience, right? We have our traditions that we want to execute perfectly. We have the gifts that we want to give, right? Is the person that I'm giving to, or am I even going to be able to receive, right? People pleasing comes up, perfectionism, anxiety, right? Or even just straight up avoidance of not looking at our money. Overscheduling, burnout, and above all, feeling like you're supposed to be joyful, but you're actually exhausted. And this was a really impactful statistic I wanted to share with you guys, that 1 in 3 people go into debt every holiday season because what do we have that is convenient and accessible? Credit cards, exactly. Just swipe it and I'll worry about it later. That's a future me problem, right? A lot of the work that we do in financial therapy is building a relationship with your future self. Debt is something that has increased accessibility. It's a reason why during the economic times that we face, we're still able to afford our needs, but it's a problem for future you. So how can we create a healthier relationship with our future self by having self-care for our current self? So how does money stress show up in our lives, right? Well, financial, there's overspending, guilt purchases, avoiding finances, pressure to give, right? I know one adjustment that my family has had to make over the last couple of years is not getting gifts for every single person. Some of the trends are doing more Secret Santas, more white elephants, trying to stay adaptable. But there's still guilt around not being able to provide as much as we used to, right? Even emotionally, how does money stress show up? Irritability, you're shorter with your family and friends. Poor sleep. I don't know if anyone in here has lost sleep or woken up and the first thing you start thinking about is money. Yep. Overwhelmed, and again, that avoidant factor. Avoidance is a huge, huge piece here regarding money stress. What do you guys think lies in the middle in regards to overlap? So the overlap here with the question mark. What do finances and emotions have to do with each other? Say that one more time.
I just think they kind of go hand in hand.
Yes.
You can't have one without the other.
Absolutely.
You don't have one without the other.
Yeah, you don't have money without emotions, and you're precisely that is so accurate. And the best way that we could sum it up together is that money is emotions disguised as numbers.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, because if you can't meet your needs, it affects you emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, money, yeah, definitely. I like that.
Hand in hand.
Exactly right.
Absolutely. The identity piece, right?
That too. That's true. Yeah.
Money is emotions disguised as numbers.
I like that.
Yep. And please, anything here that sticks with you, that resonate, take what resonates and then leave the rest, right? And please, like, share with your loved ones, share with your friends and family, because money is not talked about enough, especially that emotional piece. I appreciate you both sharing. So money, stress, and emotional fatigue, right, leads to overall burnout, almost dissociating, going through the same Groundhog Day of each day of how do I acquire resources, how do I provide, all right? It shows up as increased impulsive spending, right? Because if there is a cycle that we're interacting with our money where we're having the pressure to provide and we're trying to be really strict with our budget, the B word, right, in the financial world, it creates more stress because then it leads to impulsive spending. I deserve this. I've been so good, I deserve this. And let's keep in mind here that I'm not saying that we can't have nice things. It's not I can't afford it, it's how can I afford it? When money, stress, and emotional fatigue are at a high, burnout leads to arguing about money or responsibilities. Resentment builds. I'm technically covering this much and they're technically covering this much. The amount of fights in families increases around this time of year. Start feeling ashamed or guilty. And then there comes to the numbing aspect of it through consumption. As human beings, we have to consume to survive. But living in the consumerism, the overconsumption society that promotes buy now or miss out, right? Buy now and like you can click and buy it, just right there. It preys on our consumerism psychology, and it preys on our decision fatigue. And as we're overspending, we have the fear of disappointing others, and then it leads back to overspending to make up for it. So it's a vicious cycle that a lot of us find ourselves in. All right, so what is financial self-care? Right? Another term that isn't talked about too much. We know about self-care, but what exactly is financial self-care? Financial self-care is the practice of managing money and wellness in ways that support peace, boundaries, and balance. Money and wellness. Build wealth with wellness. Too often I've seen mentors of mine, people I look up to, clients. I got this job for the money. I don't like this job, I got it for the money. I've been doing it for 40 years. Every day, waking up, going to the job for the money. And then after that, then I get to retire and then I'll be happy. Then I'll get to live my life. Students now getting multiple degrees because they need to find the one that will get them the most money. Right? There's nothing wrong with seeking to provide or seeking to be stable. But how are we supposed to enjoy our wealth, enjoy the hard work that we put in to impact our lives and impact our communities if all that we're doing is chasing the money rather than seeking balance in every dimension of wealth? We are not one-dimensional beings. We're not one-dimensional people that are supposed to just wake up, go to work, go to bed, do it over again. You don't deserve to live in this Groundhog Day. So financial self-care is seeking to find balance in building wealth with wellness. So financial self-care tip number 1. We're going to identify, design, and delegate, right? I don't know about you guys, but delegate, that's even a hard one for me, is delegating tasks to loved ones, my network, right? It's not always easy to ask for help. And did you know that nearly 28% of people still have not paid off their credit card debt from last holiday season? Because they just dissociate, they separate themselves from their future self, and they just swipe the card, right? So the first aspect of identifying, designing, and delegating, right? Those 3 words, identify, design, and delegate, are what is part of creating a system, And a lot of what financial therapy provides is helping you turn shame into systems for sustainable wealth and self-care. Internal bank accounts. Has anyone heard of that term before? Sure, you've heard of bank accounts, right? Yep. Internal takes it back into the self. These are the dimensions of wellness, otherwise known as the dimensions of wealth. Okay? We have financial, intellectual, vocational, emotional, relational, environmental, physical, and spiritual. Now, those are all the dimensions of life. And if that feels overwhelming, well, you're asking, why am I so overwhelmed? You're managing all of these different aspects of your life every day, whether you realize it or not. And so internal bank accounts, part of this education in regards to creating that system for wealth, is where can I identify where deposits and withdrawals are happening in my life? How can I design a better system to make more deposits into the different dimensions of my life so that my self-care can then elevate my capacity to create more wealth financially?
Say that again. That's good. Go ahead.
I can't say it exactly how I just said it, but I'll repeat the concept for you.
That was good.
Thank you.
I got it.
Thank you. In order to design the system for wealth, where we identify, design, and delegate, we have to understand where the deposits and withdrawals are happening in the different dimensions of our life. If you're depleted, if there are more withdrawals happening in your physical health, you're not going to be able to be as present at work or as present in your relationships. It's not what you know, it's who you know, right? That can lead to opportunities, that can lead to more doors opening in regards to expanding your capacity to earn and build wealth, right? If your environmental wealth is low, I just can't seem to find the time to take care of all the piles in my house. And I've been there too, right? I can't seem to find the time to care for this part of my home. Oh my gosh, now I have to do a massive repair. That's another withdrawal from my financial wealth. There's different elements of financial neglect that happen in our lives that we don't even realize due to self-neglect. And so internal bank accounts, if I could find my little interactive here. Please don't fall. So this is an activity I enjoy doing with my clients, couples, different public speaking and workshops where together we're going to identify and then design and then delegate, okay, where the withdrawals, deposits and withdrawals are happening in our lives, right? So in the left hand, we'll do withdrawals. Right hand is deposits. And yeah, I want to put this somewhere that you guys can see. I think I'll keep holding it. We'll put it right here. There we go. Working together. All right. So you guys don't have to participate, whoever wants to. I'd love at least one person. But even I'll go first, okay? So holiday season, withdrawal that is happening. Let's see, what dimension do I want to pick? I would say, honestly, a withdrawal is environmental because packing is so stressful for me when I go to see my family. Like, packing is always the worst part of the trip for me. So I'll say that's a withdrawal. A deposit is, I've been blessed to adapt my work life to be primarily virtual. So this year I get to spend a lot more time on my trip with my family during the holidays. So I'll put a deposit in there, and I'll put 2. So I have more autonomy over my time, which time is one of the greatest currencies in life, and it can either appreciate or depreciate in value, depending how you interact with it. Anyone else want to go? How is this holiday season or just in general creating deposits or withdrawals in your life? You can pick a dimension. I can name one or name them if you need help.
Can you go over the
Absolutely. Financial, intellectual, vocational, emotional, relational, environmental, physical, and spiritual. 5 reps is my trademark acronym for it. So 5 reps, that spells out every dimension, if that helps, if you're writing it down. Yeah, that's a way to remember it.
Oh, 5 reps.
5 reps, yep. Financial, F, intellectual, I, vocational, V, emotional, E, relational, R, environmental, physical, yeah, you got it.
I'll go first, what you said.
Okay,
All right.
all right. What's your name?
James.
James, thank you,
I
James.
work with First Followers. I do a lot of things with, and business elevator, small business development here.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. We're going to have to talk.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah. I'll say health. Around this time, working with 2 non-for-profits as well as family members, I don't have time to work out. And financially,
So I'll put
I'm
withdrawal.
closing my wallet this year, so I'm not spending nothing on nobody. I made up my mind. No. They'll be okay.
Yeah,
They're okay. They all get,
Yeah.
they could get it from their parents now.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So making a deposit back into yourself with those boundaries?
Yeah, I'll get them after Christmas. I always, and plus with the grandkids, I always get them stuff through the year. So I say, go
Right.
to your parents for Christmas.
Right.
I'll take care of you for this.
I hear you, James.
That makes sense?
That does make sense.
Okay.
Yeah. And thank you for participating in that type
So
of
that'd be
reflection.
emotional a little bit, right? That would be...
That could count as emotional. Yeah. An emotional deposit back into your sense of self. Very nice. Yeah. Anyone else?
I was thinking, I'm not quite sure, but maybe relationship for mine, for withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I'm spending a lot of time with the grandkids right now.
Mm-hmm.
And over Christmas, I'll spend a lot of time with the grandkids. And I think deposit, maybe like Mr. James, maybe I could say physical. I'll do more stuff for myself, but it may be the spiritual. Again, just spending more time for myself.
Yes.
Self-help.
Put 2 for you.
Working out.
Mm-hmm.
Just spending time just for me, my quiet time, my personal time. I got a lot of grandkids, so I'm spending a lot of time with them now through Christmas.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I don't have any time for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hear you.
I think the deposit would be more, just spending more time just working on me.
Yes. I hear you.
Sit at home with their parents. Go to your mama and your daddy. I already did the job with them. You'll be okay.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. What's your name?
My name is Vanessa.
Vanessa, thank you so much for sharing. And you highlighted such an important point around spiritual wealth. That's a dimension that, people, my peers tend to get stuck on, where we only think spiritual has to do just with religion. Like, oh, I have to go to church and it could be that for some people, but spiritual, like you acknowledged the self, right? How am I reconnecting with myself? Yeah.
I feel like I give, and then when it's time for me, I'm kind of just all spent. I'm out of
All the
energy,
withdrawals,
I'm
yep.
out of money, I'm out of time.
Mm-hmm.
So the deposit is just going to be given back to myself.
Absolutely.
Not even really spending money on myself, but time is a big thing for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? I just want to put on some clean pajamas and do nothing. Sit
Yep.
on the couch and let the TV watch me some.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, time's your greatest currency. Yeah.
so I think that's my deposit.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are doing a great job. Self-awareness is your superpower, right? Self-awareness is your superpower, especially when it comes to financial self-care, especially when it comes to holistic self-care and holistic abundance. We're not going to be balanced in every single dimension all the time. And pursuing perfectionism is not the answer. I've tried it to not lead to good places, right? Got to stay adaptable. There's a scale that I'd also like to share with you. On one end is rigidity, the other end is chaos. What lies in the middle is adaptability. And as human beings, we have to be able to ride up and down that scale, staying adaptable. Maybe I need a little bit more rigidness. Maybe I need to identify that I'm withdrawn, I'm depleted. Maybe I need to like kick my feet up, have a little bit more me time, right? Maybe I need to delegate, identify, and design boundaries. Maybe I need to have a little more chaos in my life, a little more risk tolerance, a little more step outside of my comfort zone, finding comfort in the discomfort. But it's that journey of building our superpower of self-awareness that allows us to stay adaptable throughout a lifetime. Would you like to share before I move on? You don't have to.
Yeah, I've just been thinking I have a pretty big repair in my house.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be like $4,000.
Oh, I hear you.
And you keep saying avoidance, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure by the time, because I procrastinated on like they sent me the repair order, and they said you got 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so like on day 28, I'm like, the work's got to be done.
Mm-hmm.
The work's got to be done.
Yeah.
And then at that time, he said, we are pushing out about like 2 or 3 weeks for these kinds of things. And it's not technically really an urgent repair. And I actually, I signed it and I emailed it. And I'm like, oh, please tell me that you guys are going to be like 4 or 5 weeks out. Because that's going to give me like another couple of paychecks.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be all right, you know. But I'm constantly thinking about like, oh man, this repair.
Yeah.
Now, I know that I'm going to feel, and I did feel a lot of relief the
Yes.
moment that I sent it, because it's
Mhm.
money that's going to come out,
Mhm.
but it's related to like the roof, and you let that thing go, then it's the whole roof, right?
Mhm.
The $4,000 thing now could be a $10,000 thing, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
So I feel better about that, but right now I know that there's definitely strain on a couple of my personal relationships, because sorry that you owe me some money. I hate to like call in on the debt that you owe me, but I'm asking my friend to like pay me back for this, like couple $1,000s. And so he's like, well, I don't know when I'm like, well, I don't know with the roof,
Yep.
And so I'm just seeing that there's some strain on my personal relationships,
Mm-hmm.
but still,
Yeah.
I feel like once it's done, it's a good decision.
Yes.
And so
Yeah, making that
that's a
deposit.
into my emotional.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah,
You got it. Oh, and what's your name?
Melissa.
Melissa, thank you so much for sharing, you guys. Yeah, you guys got it. Like that's exactly the type of mindfulness, that's exactly the type of skill work and strengthening that will enhance your ability to identify, design, and delegate systems that help not only enhance your capacity, but also your communities. Because how many of us are trying to serve out of a state of just being empty and depleted, right? And then we're questioning, am I even showing up in the best way that I can, in the way that I intend?
And I think it's good that for me, I didn't think about it, the will. I didn't think about my spiritual being connected to money, or my physical stuff being connected to money. Just looking at it, I see how it's all related.
Yeah.
But before seeing it, I didn't really think about my physical health being connected to money, or my spiritual health.
Mm-hmm.
I could see how relationships could be affected by money and stuff like that, but just some of these, I didn't connect with money. I didn't think, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You think you work out, or your own health or whatever.
Exactly.
It's not really connected to money, or you don't think it's connected to
Yeah.
money.
Oh, it so is, Vanessa. Yeah, you're spot on. I appreciate you sharing that and bringing that up. It validates the message and the movement that I'm really trying to, where I'm intending to help our communities and our country redefine what wealth is, and redefine our understanding of how we pursue wealth, right? Man, because the bills later on in life, if you neglect your physical health, I mean, it's, it is all connected. You're spot on. All right, financial self-care tip number 2. Unlock the why behind your spending choices. Money clarity equals money confidence, right? I don't know about you guys, but I've been there of, why do I have this strong urge to spend right now? Why can't I get this out of my head of whatever behavior, choice, or good that I'm trying to purchase, right? Unlocking the why. As human beings, we're constantly seeking control, and the question of why comes up. Why can't I control this, right? All right, so first we start with understanding money mindset. There is a term called money scripts. And what money scripts or money narratives are is an automatic belief or story that you learned about money, usually stemming from childhood or usually having roots in childhood that shapes how you think, feel, and act with money today, right? The roots of childhood, the roots of the major life experiences that we have with money, right? Go to school. Right? You take out a loan. Do we really know what the loan means? I don't know. I'm going to school, right? Graduate. Oh, I'm getting a job. What's a 401k, right? What is that? What is retirement? Do I buy a house? When do I buy a house? Wedding? How much does the wedding cost, right? The sequence of the American dream, right? And why am I having conflict with my partner when they grew up one way and I grew up an opposite way? And why do they act this way with money? I have one client it's a couple, and it's really interesting. They both grew up in different modes of scarcity. The wife, she grew up in an environment where her parents were very conscious about every single cent. So much to the fact that if she blew her nose with a paper towel rather than a Kleenex, she got yelled at. Because the Kleenex cost more than the paper towel. The paper towel cost more than the Kleenex. Yeah, you guys got it. So very, very conscious about it. And so now in adulthood, in their marriage, she's always ordering the cheapest thing on the menu. Yeah, or she's always trying to order after everybody else to make sure that she's not adding too much to the bill out of guilt, subconscious guilt. Now the husband, his family grew up in a family where they spent every cent. They almost didn't feel safe if there was money in the bank account. Paychecks there, we're spending it. Spending it on needs, but also on wants, right? He grew up seeing cars repossessed, having to move between homes, going to school without lunches, right? So when he went to college, he said, I'm becoming an engineer because I heard they make the most money, because I'm never going to go without. So now they're married, right? And they're trying to go on a vacation that they can't afford. They're both working, right? And he wants to freely spend, and the wife is like, why are you spending on that? And now they can't even enjoy their time together because there's this tension, this conflict, this pull, right? So the work that we do to understand why we interact with money the way that we do is understanding our money scripts. I don't know if anyone's comfortable sharing. Are there any common messages or themes, scripts that have been existing in your life?
I think this makes so much sense. Just when you told the story, it made me think about my husband and I.
Okay.
He grew up saying that he grew up really poor. His mom watched every dime. It's like we had the same thing, to eat 4 days a week. Wore clothes until they just were too little. She stretched everything out. And then me, on the other hand, my dad or my mom, they were like, you work hard, you spend, you deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying to go in the hole, but it's like, if you have the money, buy it.
Yeah.
You worked for it. When you got the money, you work, another check is coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, not that they weren't mindful of money, but they spent. And so, we talk about it all the time. Just like you said, he grew up, it's very poor. So, now that he has a little bit of money, if he sees it and he wants it, he gets it. And I'm more saying, but what if something comes up?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have an emergency fund or,
Yeah.
you know, a rainy day fund.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my grandmother, she always said, keep some money in the sheets. You know, you kept money in the
Yep.
clothes closet or whatever. So we grew up two different ways, and
Yep.
so where my husband will spend, I try to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, my kids are all grown, but somebody always needs something.
I hear you.
So
Yep.
I'm trying to save for them and saying,
Mm-hmm.
you got to work for you, but we're working for them too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like stuff just comes up, you know.
Yeah.
So I think if you a little wiser with money,
Mm-hmm.
you have a little bit of money.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if something comes up, so that just made me think about my own relationship where we don't really argue about it, but I feel like we're kind of on two different ends
Mm-hmm.
of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Chaos to rigidity, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's that place in the middle where
Absolutely.
we both have to compromise. Well,
Yeah.
okay, go ahead and get this if that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are other times where we say, okay, I put some money in the savings.
Yes.
So it's just a give and take.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing that, Vanessa.
It's a common thing that people are not always on the same page when it comes to money.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely because of how we were brought up, how our parents, what we saw them do.
Yes. I see this clicking, yeah, so well for you guys. That's a crucial and a beautiful point, because it's the systems for wealth, right? Part of the system for wealth comes from what we originated in, right? And part of the system for wealth, let's enjoy our money. Absolutely. Please, let's enjoy our money, right? And even one of my narratives is battling frugality, like not wanting to spend when I'm like, Jay, you have enough in your checking account, just go buy some food, right? So even I'm challenged by it based on some of my money narratives and money scripts, right? And then when we're with our partners, how can we use our experiences that we had growing up to create a new system for wealth? Everyone's system for wealth is going to be unique based on their money scripts.
No, I don't want to talk too much, but
No, I love it. Please.
it makes me think about, for me, I always say I can't really be mad at my parents because they couldn't teach me something that they didn't really have. So they didn't have a knowledge about money matters to pass on to me. So a lot of times I'll say, here I am knocking on the door 60, and I still struggle with, did I do the budget right? Should I buy this? Should I not? Just the issues that come along with money. You know, not rich by any means, but we have enough to live off of. And it's like, why do I have all of this stress or all of this worry about, am I doing the right thing with the money that I have?
Yeah.
You know, am I being a good steward? And I think a lot of it stems from just the stuff I learned or I didn't learn growing up. You know, what my parents passed on to me about money. And I think I'm stuck. Like, what do I do now? How do I move forward?
Yes.
I totally agree with you on that. What we didn't learn was, no, we didn't. Like, even investing, now I do that. I keep a account over here like about 10,000 or something. But now when I was with my ex, she was terrible with it, but she grew up, her family, they struggled, but then she got addicted to shopping. I used to hide money around the house, and I go back there and I think I got a roll over there or something. Come back, it'd be like a 20 and a bunch of ones. I said, I know she got me again. But, oh man, I had to separate bank accounts and everything. It was terrible. I said, man, what happened? What are you doing then? I see some more boots. But that was that hedonistic type of, it was that thrill of shopping. Something you get caught on to like a drug.
Absolutely.
It was a drug. It was just that thing of it. It didn't never go nowhere with it. I said, why you keep buying all this stuff? You don't even go nowhere. Drove me crazy. That ended real quick. But neither one of us had those habits or taught that. Those conversations wasn't had. So we didn't know. And, looking back now, I saw my father, he played a lot of lottery tickets, but he had put that money just in an account, just a simple compound interest account. He could have been sitting on $1 million plus now. And you're like, man, you doing, but this is what we talking about now.
Exactly.
So I
Yeah.
appreciate this.
I appreciate you guys as well.
Trust me. Well, I didn't even know. I said, oh man, this sounds like something I want to hear.
Yeah, thank you, James. Yeah, I mean, this is an important conversation to have, right? I mean, I could keep going through my slides, but like we're having a real conversation that helps actually, again, enhance the systems for wealth for all dimensions, right? To make sure that we're also, our relational wealth is getting the deposits by being able to communicate about it. And I won't get too high on this soapbox because I do different public speaking about it, but we're talking about the generations before us, right? What was I taught, but also what economic trends did they grow up in? Grandparents growing up in the Great Depression, stuff your money, like hide it, right? And they're still living with that financial trauma like the rest of their lives, right? And then each generation has their different experiences. Yes, let's honor the lessons that our elders teach us, but let's also respect our own experience in regards to the era that we're growing up in establishing and accumulating wealth. So the C3 cycle, this is something I really am excited to share with you guys. I was privileged to be able to do research around the correlation between food and finance, right? I did this last year. I coined a term called disordered consumption. And through disordered consumption, I created the C3 cycle. The C3 cycle explains the system for our consumer habits. Okay? I'll explain it with an example for you guys. We'll just stick with, I'll explain it with a real client, but we'll still call her Christina. So Christina, it's holiday time, Black Friday's here, right? By now, you're gonna miss out on the sales, right? And I think Black Friday week starts today. Yeah, yep, on the 20th, they started early and earlier, right? Because the more time to spend with the Black Friday sales, the more money that is spent, right? I almost said a different comment there, but I'll contain it. Don't get too high on the soapbox, Jay. Please, everyone stay in contact with me because I feel like I could have such wonderful conversations with everyone in the room about this stuff. So Christina, she has a compulsion, right? The compulsion is the urge, that initial impulsive thought, right? That urge of, it's Black Friday, I gotta buy stuff now. I keep seeing the advertisements. We see nearly 4,000 to 10,000 ads per day. 4,000 to 10,000 ads per day without even consenting to it. All attacking our C3 cycle, our consumerism cycle. So for the sake of learning, I'll just go through it. Compulsion is the urge, consumption is the behavior, and control is what we do to try and make up for the mistake that we made, typically through restriction. I'll do better tomorrow. I just won't spend any more for this period of time. I just won't eat as much this time. I'll just finally delete the app off my phone. And then you find yourself on your computer shopping later, right?
2 o'clock a.m.
Exactly. So I wanted to introduce that first. Yesterday I had the opportunity to speak at a financial planning class at the university. And we did an activity. We don't have quite as many people in here, but there was about 50 students in the class. And I set a timer for 60 seconds. And I asked the students, I want you to find how many advertisements you can see in this room. And they were like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, you have a Nike logo there. You have an Adidas logo there. Dunkin' Donuts, right?
This here, that's a Victor.
Mm-hmm, that's a logo, right? Right? So there's all those, we're all walking advertisements. Now think about, as you're driving, as you're at work, as you're watching TV, you're on your phone, how many advertisements we see in one day. And when is the prime time of purchasing? Between 6 and 10 p.m. at night, right? After a long day at work, right? You're finally home, finally eating, we're on our phones, like we're able to just scroll and we're chilling. But our capacity to make decisions in favor of what our goals are, in favor of our future self, right? In regards to our relationship and intentions with our money, we don't have as much capacity to make the decisions we want to make. So back to Christina. It's Black Friday, right? She works as a nurse and she has 12-hour shifts, 4 days in a row. It's the end of the 12-hour shifts, day 4, that evening. Oh my gosh, it's Black Friday, I still have to do shopping. I just want to get it over with. Oh wait, I've still been meaning to buy that. I've also been needing to buy this, and this. And here we are, X amount of dollars later, right? She has that urge paired with decision fatigue that leads to overconsumption, right? The behavior of buying more and consuming more than what we intend. And then that leads to control. Oh my gosh, like I can't buy as many groceries now. Or what if I sell my clothes and thrift them? Right? So this system of consumption, I utilize this activity with my clients when they're really stressed about why they're struggling with their impulsive decision making with their money. And we just identify what was happening in each stage of the cycle. And what's the underlying thing that you're actually avoiding controlling? Because as human beings, we tend to actually try and control the behavior rather than acknowledging the actual feeling or emotion, the circumstance that drove the behavior. We're just like, oh, I need to fix myself rather than understanding the behavior. Any questions there? Okay. All right, self-care tip number 3. Now, I did want to offer, we've been talking a lot about the psychology aspect, the consumerism aspect, and you guys have done such a great job capturing those concepts. This is a truly financial one. So a high yield savings account. Has anyone in here heard of one before? Yeah, James. Nice. Yep. Very nice.
And I was setting up a granddaughter one.
Awesome.
To keep hers up, and I told her, no, you don't want to use a regular bank account. You're going to use a high yield savings account.
Yep. Yeah. High yield savings accounts. So I'll go over the definition first. A high yield savings account, or an HYSA, right? And this is part of a deposit we can make into our money language, understanding the different acronyms out there. An HYSA is a savings account that pays a higher interest rate than a regular bank account, a traditional bank account. Now, what is a traditional bank account? Typically, what I have found is most HYSAs are with online banks rather than a brick and mortar bank, right? The PNCs, Busey, Chase that you can walk into. And the reason why online banks are able to offer higher, what's called an APY. APY is yes, interest in our favor. APR is like run. That's your credit card interest that is against you, right? APY, yes, APR, run. Yep. You got it. So all banks typically offer an APY. Why? Well, when we open a bank account and we sign our name on the dotted line, we are telling the bank, yes, you can use my money to loan out to other people. That is how banks make money, is loans and fees. They don't really make money from just keeping your money saved in the bank, right? As nice as that is. Well, brick and mortar banks have a lot more overhead costs of funding a building, funding more employees, right? Online banks, they don't have as much funding in regards to having to allocate funds towards supporting the funds of a brick and mortar bank does. So HYSAs being online tend to cause hesitation, especially for some older generations, because how do I know to trust an online bank, right? Well, that's where you want to look for it to be FDIC insured, okay? Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation shows that a bank is legitimate because if the bank goes down, if the bank fails, the customers are insured up to a certain amount. Typically, it's $250,000 to $500,000, depends on the bank, but your money is insured and protected, right? A large majority, and we have 7 minutes left, a large majority of Gen Z and millennials these days don't actually have a FDIC insured bank account. They use Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and they think that they're real banks, right? And sure, they are a type of bank, but they're not a bank that actually keeps your money safe, much less a bank account like an HYSA that can help your money compound, especially if you're not ready to fully invest in the stock market. And that's one other point I want to make sure to make to you guys, keeping your money easy access. When I was just starting out my wealth building journey, an HYSA was my first investment. Why? Because I didn't know what I was doing with the stock market. Like, what do you mean invest in stocks? Then you got to sell it and buy it, and oh, here's the overwhelm and the avoidance. I just don't want anything to do with it. I'm going to keep my money in Cash App, right? A high yield savings, just like your regular bank account, right? You can use the ATM, you can call customer service, right? And it's liquid, meaning you have access to it, right? I love HYSAs. So why use an HYSA? We went over it a little bit. Money earns more interest automatically. Great for emergency funds, sinking funds, and short-term goals. I've tried out a few different HYSAs. Forbes typically has a list. Investopedia. The one that you named, James, is a good bank. Yeah. SoFi. Yep. I personally use SoFi. I've also used Wealthfront as well.
Yeah, I used to use Wealthfront.
Mm-hmm.
They got one?
Wealthfront?
Yeah, they had a high yield savings account.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Wealthfront did. Each HYSA, just like any bank, has different requirements regarding minimum deposit fees, etc. SoFi was the simplest one that I thought was most efficient and what felt safest to me, especially when I got it starting out as a student several years ago. Just with being like, I don't have a ton of money to give yet, but I don't want to be penalized if I don't have X amount of dollars in my checking account, like some of these other banks administer fees on. So do your research. Please feel free to contact me if you'd like to find the best options. But an HYSA is a great way, especially during the holiday season. Last year, I was able to create a vault, right? Create an envelope of sorts in my HYSA labeled Christmas. And after I funded that Christmas account, I was able to leave it in the spring. And guess what? The interest rate, at least for the HYSA I bank with, the APY multiplies my money monthly. So I was able to make nearly an extra $50 with just keeping my money in that account. So keeping your savings organized is a major, major benefit. So just to keep going with an example, regular banks, $10 of interest a year on 1,000 might be a little bit high. I remember when I was banking with, I know this is going on YouTube, so I won't trash any banks, but my original bank account, I earned like 5 cents in 1 year because it was like a 0.01% APY. Compared to my first year with the HYSA, I made a couple $100 because the APY was 4.5%, multiplied monthly rather than quarterly. Oh, okay. 3 minutes left, QA. Okay, we did it, everyone. Does anyone have any questions on HYSAs or the concepts that we talked about? I would love to hear, sorry, did you have a question? I want to cut you off.
Oh, no.
Okay, wasn't sure if we're hearing like this parakeet over here.
I always got alarm.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. I said, what is that?
Yes.
Yeah, but I like I just got hip to those like in about a year and a half.
That's awesome.
But I've been doing a lot of the different things. So one of the other things I do, like for the house account, like any repairs to my house, I keep that into like Webull, but then I keep all those into dividend ETFs. So like I played this game. Every time I loaned out some money, I put the same amount of money into my accounts. I didn't lend out anything I can't lose. And I got one of them sons that's always got his hand still in my pocket. So I said, okay, I give you this, and then I'll split it. So this game, I did like that, and then I got, other people too. But it wound up being about $3,000 out. So I made sure I had $3,000 in my house account. That was in ETFs, like SCHD, different type of ETFs, high yield and high dividend and growth ETFs. That doubled. You know, at the end of the year, I was looking, that was almost like $7,000, $8,000. I said, oh, shit, okay, cool. Y'all got me now. Now I'm hooked, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like a game. Every time I do that, you know, that's why I said, now I'm not going to give nothing to nobody right now. I'm going to understand it myself. But the focus is on, because I trade options as well too, credit spreads options.
Yeah.
Those are really, you know, gaining. So now I'm about to cross another barrier. And what got me like this now, I used to do insurance and I had my producer's license as well. I was doing like, you know, retirement accounts. So the goal now is to get this thing up to, say about 300 to 400K, right? That's it. So that's why I said no more out. Now it's everything in. You know, I can match what I make with my investments. So all that just go to the Roth, and I play that game. But I had to learn this, right? And I learned this from watching, like I said, my parents and them go through money. Not really good with money, but my grandmother taught me more about money. Because what we would do is, we would play this game. She would get like different type of CDs and other things and put money in that. But at that time, I didn't know about it. Only till I got to college and I had a lot of finance classes, like 300 and 400 level. And it was Dr. Ernest Coupe, and I always used to see him. He was one of the finance teachers at Chicago State up there. He was a funny guy, but I asked him, I said, man, break 100. And he said, man, this ain't no fake 100. I said, this ain't no fake 100. So he looked, and I said, why? Man, he must have pulled his wallet out, and I'm like, damn, what you doing with all that, man? What you doing? You that guy on what's that? You know, one of them, I don't know. I just said he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. He said, no, you know about investing. I said, I know about mutual funds and things like that. He said, no, I could show you how to do this. And he kind of held my hand on that. But
That's awesome. Mentorship is so important. And even as you've learned, and whether it's individually with mentors, with family members, right? Identify, design, delegate, design your system for wealth. Like, it's not going to be any one thing, right? And HYSAs are what I coach and inform and advise to be one of the first steps to at least feel safe in regards to trying something new with the system of wealth. So
I'll share this one with you. Now, the lady who trained me back here early 2005, you know, I talked to her recently. So her and her husband, they finally retired. Now, they put a lot of money into annuities, other investments, things like that. I said, so how are these annuities? How's everything going? Now, she designed her own annuities. And there's a lot of fees with annuities, right? But she said they was doing about like close to about $13,000 a month, and they just traveled. That was it. You know, they just bringing that in off her investment. I said, man.
yeah,
Why couldn't I get lucky to meet her? And I had the other one. But long story.
you got the boots gal.
Yeah, I said, man, I wish I would have met you. But she was an older lady. She was like about,
Yeah, I hear you.
She's about 10, 15 years old.
I hear you.
just asked her,
Yeah.
I said, so how y'all doing?
Yeah. Well, that's why money's a game. You know, money's a game. And on my podcast, Finance Fitness and Finesse, I interview individuals from the finance background, mental health, education, just to discuss different ways to approach and engage with wealth. Come the new year, the podcast is actually going to be on the WCIA streaming app. So if you guys download the app, you'll be able to access all the episodes and episodes for the new year as well. And then please stay in touch. Feel free to follow Dimensional Wealth or follow Jaelyn Vickery on Facebook, Instagram, and please visit my website. I'd love to stay in touch with you guys. I enjoyed this so much. So you guys really were able to contribute to an abundant conversation. And wealth is not about what you achieve, but how you achieve it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.